and that's one of the things we've been talking about consistently with Ryan Mack. Is about financial planning and understanding the economic system and how to use it to your advantage. And one of the things that I found very disturbing was this whole situation with credit cards, Lori. I mean, this is getting to be ridiculous. I mean, it's like cheese in a rat trap, and we're always taking the cheese and they're getting caught or trapped in it. And let's talk about that issue and what's going on there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, as we mentioned before, money is the big business is only concerned with money, so they're going to do whatever they need to do in order to make money. But the problem on the other end is we have individuals who are either using credit cards for sustenance. You know, they need to pay the bills to keep the lights on or to put food on the house. And then there's other groups that are doing it for luxury, more of a luxury lifestyle. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in between.
Right.
You know, but the issue is that they're being victims to these astronomical rates, and insurance companies, because of the economy and the downturn in the economy, they had to make up some of the losses that they had, you know, the bad debt, so to speak, that they had of people who no longer had a job and just couldn't pay back the money that they owed. So they're now doing things like increasing the interest rates. They're taking away some of the perks that used to, you know, be the draw, you know, whether it was a cash back or, you know, special, you know, benefits that you had through purchasing items on I forgot what they call them, the type of plans. But the issue is now they're doing the things that are making it even more difficult for those people who have to rely on the credit cards, you know, the plastic society.
So you're saying they're targeting these communities? Yeah,
well, they're targeting, it's affecting African Americans, you know, disproportionately because of the economic situation that they're in.
You know, one of the things I read is, and it's sorry to say some of our people jump on that bandwagon, the Russell Simmons, that card that he's pushing, Rush card. I think his ex-wife has a card, Baby Fat. With each time you use the card, it's fees to it. It's a huge interest rate on the card. It's membership fees, all types of exorbitant rates, and your information is shared with a bunch of other companies.
Right.
I think the information I read, P. Diddy is pushing a card.
Right.
You know, and they know that a lot of their cards, our people are running by because they're pushing it.
Right.
And you know, it's all types of exploitation behind the use of these cards.
Yeah, and the problem is that the credit card reform that we've gotten, you know, isn't really a big deal. You know, I mean, we've had some benefits, like the headway of them not being able to market towards college students, because a lot of college students were starting their adult life in debt and then moving forward and staying in debt. But, you know, even that, I mean, that was a small benefit, but then the other benefits were, they're so short term, it's almost like it's insignificant.
Well, this is the ant and the aphid scenario, right? You know the ants, that they have these aphids and they juice them, they get to feed them and to take care of them and stuff. They just keep them around long enough and they get what they need from them. When you have 50% of African Americans and 13% of Latinos that are paying over 20% interest rate on their cards or whatever, when you have black people in the community that are carrying debt, you know, 60% of black people have credit cards, and what does it say? 84% of them carry month-to-month debt. This is like cycle poverty, okay? You know, and these are the things we have to get out of. Now, we're not going to blame people all the time because some of this stuff is systematic, right? They know exactly what they're doing. They know who they're targeting. But the question is, what do we do about it, okay? Is there, you know, where is there somebody that's lending people money? That they don't have to go to these companies and doing that. Because we talked about payday loans. Remember, we talked about that issue.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying the issue is when we had credit card reform, which is supposed to be attacking the credit card companies for their bad practices. I mean, the law is basically saying, well, they can't raise your interest rates unless you're more than 60 days overdue. Now, if you're in dire economic straits, I don't think 2 months is really gonna, you know, 2 months reprieve is really gonna do anything. It's sort of like the foreclosure situation where they were giving people, you know, a grace period. But if you don't have a job, you know, 60 days isn't gonna help you you know, keep your house any longer. And then the other thing that they had is that, well, if you get one of those 0% interest rates that they can't change that for 6 months. Well, 6 months, unless you're charging every day, you know, it's not like you're going to get a huge benefit in that 6-month period.